We'll get started here in just a minute. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. It is a new year here at Health Plan Markets and everywhere, really. It's 9 o'clock on January 5th, and I really appreciate you guys starting off the year right. So here we go. As a reminder, we are here to serve those that serve others. That's why we exist here at Health Plan Markets. We want to improve our service and make sure that we're delivering on our promise, and that is to serve you as an agent and ensure that you're doing everything that you can for your clients, and we're doing everything we can to help you. So in that vein, it's a new year, and I'd like to see in the chat, what's one thing that as an agent you want to improve this year? One thing, could be anything. Maybe it's part of your personal goals, maybe it's a professional goal, maybe it's finance. Just name one thing, if you can, put it in the chat, that you want to improve this year as an agent. So I'd love to hear what you guys are looking at. Really appreciate that. And one thing that we can always do is training. So we're going to jump over to HQ. I'm going to share my screen here. Here we go. If I can get a thumbs up, if you guys can see it okay. All right. And in the chat here, we're seeing Giselle says, Happy New Year. Thank you. Happy New Year. Got some thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Claudia says, time management. Love that. Time management is huge. And I got something to talk about. If you've been on these calls for a while, you already know what I'm going to be talking about today. Time management is massive. Georgia says, do more seminars. I love that. If you've had success, or if you have never done a seminar, we can definitely help you with that. Deborah says, this year, I would love to create more relationships and community outreach. Again, we can help with that. If you haven't connected with Jose Aguayo on our team, he can help with both the seminars, the relationships, and the community outreach. If you haven't connected with him, just shoot us an email, support@askhpm.com, and we'll get you connected with Jose. Because we are doing a lot of events this year for community outreach. So Deborah, we would love your help with that. Georgia, we would love to help with your seminars as well. That's what we're here to do, guys. That's a partnership. That's what we're talking about here. So love that. And these are all doable goals. We're going to talk about goal setting specifically, because these are great starts, but they're not exactly SMART goals. And we're going to talk about SMART goals today, because I think that's important for everybody to know how to do that. But as we normally start, we're going to jump into training. We go over to learning. We click the training calendar here, and we go to week. That's what I like to do. This morning, we've got a few trainings. We've got Humana selling the Humana and Care Plus chronic special needs plans. If you haven't heard, chronics are the way to go for 2026. That is where the money's at. This is how you're going to earn a lot of money this year. You have to understand how to navigate chronic condition plans. There are plenty of trainings for chronic special needs plans, chronic condition plans. I highly recommend that you guys jump on one of these trainings. As a general rule, if you take one training a week, that's 52 trainings a year. How much smarter will you be? How much better at your craft will you be? Okay. Think about that. United Healthcare is doing supplement training at 10:30 today. We've got the contracting team on Q&A at 10:30 as well. And then agent tools and resources for the Medicare sup training, that's at 2 o'clock today as well. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock UHC, learn how to find more DSNP opportunities. Some of you know that it's all about community outreach for those folks. So you can learn more about that. United Healthcare is doing a training tomorrow at 10. They're also covering finding and engaging consumers, still part of your job. We're going to do that. And then Humana OEP review and retention strategies. Also going to touch on that today. That's at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Wednesday, we've got our very own Al Clancy doing a virtual coffee and chat from 9:30 to 10:30. He is your coach. He is your agent guru. He's the guy that's going to help you grow. So, if you feel stuck or you haven't set your New Year's goals, this is a great person to talk to. Also, UHC starting up their virtual coffee and chats at 10. They're also doing chronic special needs plan. There's another one at 11 on Wednesday. And then Spark is doing Medicare Advantage during OEP. That's at 1 o'clock on Wednesday as well. Thursday, UHC again, lots of UHC trainings. They're doing the special supplemental benefits for the chronically ill. That's the SSBCI program. Again, if you're still shaking on that, highly recommend that one. That's Thursday at 1. They're also doing grassroots marketing at 2 o'clock, so you can do a 1-2 punch there. And then United's also doing the AARP Medicare Supplement Training Deep Dive, 2 o'clock on Thursday. And then HQ, we're running training sessions 3 o'clock on Thursdays there. And then finally on Friday, Humana, knowing your special election periods for all your selling. Very, very important to do that. UHC, closing the sale. Always important. You got to know how to close that sale. That's at noon on Friday. And then last but not least, another DSNP training by UHC at 1 o'clock. So that's the trainings for the week. Those are the ones we know about. They're all virtual unless otherwise specified on the training calendar. This is not all of the trainings, as I want to remind you that the carriers are often sending trainings via email. So if you're not getting any trainings from the email, or if you're ignoring them, that's probably why you're not going. So let's do that, okay? I also want to touch on the AEP contest. The contest is officially closed for 2026 AEP. That ended on December 31st, 2026. So keep in mind that no other apps are going to go towards this contest. We are going to be tidying this up. So the preliminary points are loaded onto HQ. If you go to commissions and then click AEP contest 2026, the team has done a fantastic job organizing this. If you're an agency partner, you can also see your dashboard to see where your agents landed as well. But congratulations so far to quite a few people. It looks like we have at least 15 people going on the trip. Again, there's some duplicates in here. There's some people that just don't qualify specifically. So we do have to clean this up. Remember, you got to get 60 points to get on the trip, 85 for a balcony, 115 to bring someone you want to bring or not. And then 160 points for a super suite upgrade. Those are the points, and all the rules are located on this page. What does count, what doesn't count. And then at the bottom, if you did applications outside of shop because you just could not do them on shop, we were also considering those for points. So we are still tallying those up. Take a look at your inventory. Go ahead and submit your applications. Let's say, for instance, a plan just wasn't available on shop. And you had to do it through a carrier website, no problem. You do have to report it here in order to get your points for the contest. Okay, so we're going to be tallying everything up. These are not final numbers, so don't panic. But in general, your points are probably going to go down because of duplicates and because you rewrote some plan people that were already with the plan or with HPM. So that's just the nature of why it is. And that's why I've also said that you guys, to get 60 points, you really should be shooting for 70, 75 points to get on to the trip. So that's it. But, I would say free and clear, barring anybody else, the top 10 here look like they're going to be going. Congratulations to Gloria Gutierrez, Sue Lee, Edviges Irani, Maria Moran, Crystal Bowens Quarterman, Monica Stanley, Felisa Davis Holmes, Liz Caballero, Pam Bondoc, and Riz Khan all look like they hit it for sure. And again, this is not the full entire list. I'm just reading off the top 10 based on the contest here on HQ. So I also want to remind you guys that HQ is going to be rolling over to version 2. And so there may be some bumps in the road, but I will tell you that HQ 2.0, from what I've seen, is going to be phenomenal. Really excited to share that with you once we go live with that. So appreciate that. All right. Just some news. I'm going to stop my screen here just for a second. Just some news here. HealthSpring, there was a notice that went out. HealthSpring is formerly Cigna. Medicare, it says statements for 2025 will be loaded soon. They have all of the statements that you need, your commission statements, loaded up until January of 2025. They don't have any of the statements loaded for 2025. I think they were backloading it, is from what I've understood. So those of you that were looking for your Cigna HealthSpring statements in your portal, those should be coming soon. So don't panic. They are aware of the situation. They are loading the 2025 statements. So if you're somebody that actually looks at your commissions, congratulations. The HealthSpring will have those 2025 commission statements loaded soon. Okay. As far as if you're getting any sort of payment from HPM or through HPM, your statements are located on Agency Block, which is found under commissions, and you can click Agency Block there to log in. Again, if you have any questions on that, just email us at support@askhpm.com. Okay. I'm going to take a pause here and just look at the chat, make sure we are good. Ramilda says, talking about growing or what's one thing you want to improve this year? Health and growing my business. Love it. We're going to talk about being more specific on those goals because that's very vague. Finally get going at 100%. David, thank you again. Like that, but let's dial that in. Increase client base through community outreach. That's getting better. Carly, way to go. Rosie saying, talk about why Molina and Ambetter contracts for ACA is terming. I will get to that. We're not seeing any terminations. We're just seeing blackouts. And again, from last week, if you didn't catch our call, or the week before, I was out sick last week, but many of the ACA carriers have blacked out new contracts, essentially just saying, hey, we can't take on any more agents. We're at capacity. We're getting too many sales, or whatever that looks like for them. They're kind of pumping the brakes. So they're not terming contracts from what I understand. It's just a blackout period. But they are loading that back up. And let me see if I can find the note here. So as a reminder, Ambetter has advised that they are not processing any new contract requests until February 1st. So if you already have Ambetter, you're fine. If you want to add Ambetter to your portfolio, you cannot do that until February 1st. Regardless, you can send over an email to support@askhpm.com and we'll put you in the hopper for when they open it up. Same thing with transfers. If you have Ambetter with another FMO and you want to move them over, that is blacked out until April of, or the 15th of April of this year. So again, just shoot us an email and we'll put you in line and queue to make sure that you guys are there. Rosie's saying they are literally terming contracts. I don't know that they are terming them. If you're getting those, please send them over to us. It could be, I'm getting screenshots here, so I'm taking a look at it as we're reading it. Okay, so some of these things, not to panic. I'm seeing Florida Celtic or Celtic. These are old health plans, and it's a technical thing. And it's basically like, I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, Humana had Humana Dental and Humana, all these other things. They're consolidating all the appointments because for every carrier and every plan that they have out there, wild, they have to pay appointment fees every year. So at this time, many of the carriers are consolidating those contracts. But also keep in mind that some of these carriers will term you for non-production. That is in your agreement. So if you haven't written anything, that's a possibility. But from what I'm seeing, thank you, Mary, for sharing that. That snapshot. Celtic is an old company and an old appointment. Ambetter has a separate appointment there. We believe that that's the same thing that may be happening with Molina, but I will take a look at that as well. Thank you for the heads up. All right, Gail saying, we gel agents are getting this message respectively in emails. Let's get you started with your first sale. We did too. Is that happening from us? I'm not really sure where that email's coming from. So if you have any more details, that would help me. Let's see here. Humana has not compensated us yet for 1/1s. Yeah, again, this is the first week of January. So, with banks being closed last week, we anticipate that your agent commissions from the carriers should be paid at some point this week if they're smart about it. So don't panic, guys. I would wait until Friday before you shoot up the red flag. I'm going to be going through my emails. I have tons of emails. I am behind. But if you have any concerns, shoot us over an email at support@askhpm.com and we'll take a look at what's going on there. Let's see. Last I read about Humana will be the 7th. So thank you, Deborah, for that. That sounds about right. All right. We talked about the terminations. Okay. Yeah. So Shauna's saying they just stopped operating as Celtic. So Celtic was a company that they first came into Florida with, and in many different carriers as well. Again, it's like another appointment that they're just kind of clearing it out. Same thing with like Sunshine. They're probably going to do away with that eventually as well. So, and Sean is also saying that every person in Florida got that email. So it does look like that's a thing. It's okay. And then Mike saying, yeah, it's an internal bug. We're working on that. Appreciate that. Dave, yes, you guys got it. Romilda got it. Okay, Mike's working on recalling those notifications. So thanks, guys. Oh, it's coming from HQ. Okay, thank you, guys. Appreciate that feedback. Okay. Whitney's sending us the note here where it says, okay, great. Yeah, just shoot it forward to support@askhpm.com is what Mike's saying. It's a new bug. Again, new system. Like I just said, we're going to have a couple of speed bumps in there. We apologize for any emails that are being sent out to you guys in that regard. We don't mean to annoy you with those things. It's just new stuff that's happening with our new system. So just make sure that we're aware of it. Like what you did here today is fantastic. Really appreciate that. Okay, it is a new year, which means that everyone's health plan is at 0 again. Deductibles have reset. Prescription deductibles have reset. You have clients that are probably on new plans. You have clients that are seeing new doctors. These are all gaps or areas that you should be aware of and be conscious of going into this year. Now, there's two types of agents in my mind on how they're going to handle this time of year. And when I say this time of year, I'm talking about OEP. OEP, and we're still in open enrollment for ACA. You have until the 15th to continue enrolling people for February 1st right now. Okay. I do want to say that there are two types of agents that operate at this time of year. Ones that check out and they wait until the problems happen, and then they're on their heels. Okay. So are you an agent that checks out? Are you an agent that's on your heels and you're just going to wait for the problems to come in? Okay. Being reactive, because I've seen it. So that's agent type number 1. I've seen agent type number 2. Agent type number 2 is proactive. They're going back through their clients from the top, making sure that they got their ID card, that they've got their first doctor appointment scheduled, that they were able to get their medications, that they were able to use their benefits, the ones that they were excited about. Which type of agent are you? Are you the one that's going to wait until the phone calls and somebody's pissed off at you? Or are you the agent that's going to call your clients and make sure everything's nice and smooth for them? And this is the week to do it. Remind them that if they have a prescription deductible, when they go to the pharmacy, they are responsible to pay the first amount up until their new deductible. If you don't tell them that, or if you forgot to tell them that, or you glazed over it during the presentation because you were running and gunning, this is a really, really good time to reinforce that, because these folks are going to go to the pharmacy. They're going to try to pick up their medication, and if it's expensive, they're going to feel it right there. And you better hope that you're the first person they call, because they might call another agent. You don't want that, okay? But it also, you also want to reduce the amount of buyer's remorse that's happening out there in the community, okay? This is the time that these people are test driving their brand new plan. You know, we're already getting reports that people started picking up their meds last week, you know, on the 1st, on the 2nd, you know, over the weekend. So, you know, you're going to have some friction there, guys. So the first thing that you need to be doing is you need to be on defense right now. Defense, customer service focused, customer service focused. Go back through your clients and be proactive in your customer service. I will tell you right now, I have talked to agents that, oh, I'm afraid to call them because I might open up a can. Well, you can open up a can of worms calling them, or they're going to open up a can of whoop ass on you because they're upset. So which can do you want? Which one do you want in that scenario? Which can do you want opened? Okay. Think about that in your plan of action. So if you're like, okay, Justin, what do I do this week? That's the first thing you need to do. You need to go back through all of your new clients and talk to them, reassure them, let them know that you're the customer service point. You know, let them know that you're the problem solver there. You don't want them doing that anywhere else. And remember, friction points is right when they start using the plan. They call the plan, they didn't get their card, their benefit, you know, they go to the pharmacy and they're having to pay for meds. They go to the new doctor and they don't like it. You know, all of this is going to trigger buyer's remorse if they have a bad experience in their mind. So if you don't get in front of it and say, hey, I see that you're going to go see your doctor next week, call me and let me know how it goes. Be invested in that experience, because if you're not, these folks are going to start looking elsewhere. Okay. And that's, you know, we both don't want that to happen. Right. So that's the first thing that you need to be doing. We talked about planning your year today, and I want to address a couple things in this call here. And I'm going through, starting from the top, what you guys are going to be doing to be better this year. Okay. And they're all great starts, but I'm going to teach you an acronym, which many of you have probably heard before, but none of these goals I saw were very SMART, S-M-A-R-T, SMART. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Okay. So how do you make a SMART goal? That's what we're going to talk about today. How do you make a SMART goal? The first thing is you need to be as specific as possible. I'm going to pick on a few of you to help you, only to help you. Okay. All right. So Claudia said time management. She was the first one up. Time management. Time management is always great, but is it specific? This is not a specific goal. Okay. How do you make this more specific? What exactly do you want to do to improve your time management? And I'm going to give you some examples here, Claudia. I use, you guys already know this, Finisher's Journal. Okay. This is my time management Bible. Okay. I plan every 15 minutes in the morning, and I plan every 15 minutes at night. So maybe a smarter goal to be more specific with your time management, Claudia, is that I plan every morning for 15 minutes. That's specific. That's towards your time management, but it's more specific. Is it measurable? Yes, because I said every morning, and I know whether or not I did it, right? So it's 15 minutes. So I can measure or not whether that is relevant, okay? Is it attainable? Well, I hope you have 15 minutes in the morning. You know, that's up to you, right? Is it relevant? Yes, because your goal was to improve your time management. And is it timely? Well, we did say what day or when you're going to do that, but when is it due, right? I'm going to plan for 15 minutes every morning, starting today, all the way until April 1st, and see how I do. We like to work in quarterly goals, okay? So Claudia, to change, not to change it, but to make it a SMART goal, that's just one example, is to improve your time management. Your actual goal is, I'm going to sit down for 15 minutes every day in the morning and plan my day for time management. And I will do this until April 1st and then reevaluate. Okay. Let's pick another one. Do more seminars. Georgia, love that. Super vague. How many more? How many did you do? When do you want to do them by? You know, what are you looking to gain out of those things? I'm assuming sales, of course, but no, what you could do, Georgia, is, let's say you want to do, I want to plan and execute 20 seminars in Q1, which is January 1st to March 31st. I want to plan and execute 20 educational seminars, sales seminars. You got to be more specific on that, right? Let's just say in this example, I want to plan and execute 20 educational seminars by March 31st. It's specific. It's measurable. Is it attainable? That's up to you, right? Is it relevant? Yes, because you wanted to do more seminars. But why do you want to do more seminars is the question. Peel back that onion. Oh, because I'll get more leads. Why? Because I'll get more sales. Why? Because I'll make more money. Why? What is it that you want? What's going to motivate you? Why is it that you're doing these seminars? It's not just about money, guys. Why do you need the money? Is it to buy a new house? Is it to get a new car? Do you need tires? Like, what is it that's going to motivate you? Do you want to go on vacation? You want to get the new iPhone? I don't know. What is it that's going to motivate you to make that goal happen is really where you need to be. And is it timely? You absolutely have to have a deadline. If you do not have a deadline, it's just wishful thinking, guys. Okay. One of the things, and again, I'm going to come back to this because this has been a game changer for me. The first thing that you do in this book is they teach you how to do the SMART and make sure that your goals are SMART. I recommend not having more than 3 goals per quarter. And again, we work in quarters because, 90 days is about as far as you can go in the human mind without adjusting or messing things up. So again, how are you making these goals SMART? Okay. It's an easy job. Oh yeah, I'm going to make more money. I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to grow my business. And hey, these are all great goals, but to make it really work, to make it like, okay, this is a thing now, you got to do it this way. So I'm going to pick on Romilda because I love her and she knows I'm not picking on her. I'm making her better here. So health, super vague. What does that mean? Are you reducing your body fat? Are you trying to gain weight? Are you trying to gain muscle mass? Are you wanting to improve your cardiovascular health? Like, get specific on that. You know what I mean? I want to lose 5 pounds in 90 days and I'm going to do this by walking. What does that look like? Get SMART. How is it specific? How is it measurable? Because if you say health, I have no way to measure that. If you say, hey, I want to lose 5 pounds in 90 days, cool. Now we can measure that. Did you hit the goal? Right? Is it attainable? Yeah. You're saying 5 pounds versus 30 pounds. I don't know if that's doable. That's really hard to do in 90 days. Probably even dangerous, right? Is it relevant? Yeah, it's relevant to what you originally said is like, hey, I want to improve my health. And is it timely? Yeah, because you're going to do it in 90 days, right? By March 31st, I will lose 5 pounds by walking. That's just another example of how you can get SMART on these goals. Growing my business, again, super vague. By what? What did you do last year? You want to grow your business by 10%? Okay, that's measurable, right? Because now you have a number, but get specific on it. How are you going to grow your business? Are you growing your Medicare business, your ACA business? What exactly are you growing? Is it relevant? Yes, you want to grow. And is it timely? Again, I would think in quarters. Okay, like, hey, I want to grow my business by 10%. quarter over quarter. So whatever I did last Q1, I want to grow it by 10%, 20%, 30%. And then what exactly are you going to do to grow that business, right? Maybe that's the motivation, but is it seminars? Is it more community outreach? How many events are you going to do? You know, these are the hard questions that you have to ask yourself. And I'm asking you guys to do this, but this exercise is going to help you achieve your goals. Otherwise, you're just wishful thinking, or it's a resolution that's going to end on January 17th, which is Quitter's Day. I don't know if you guys know this, but I think it's like the second Friday of January. They actually have a day called Quitter's Day, where the majority of people that made resolutions quit. And you want to know why? Because none of them made them smart. They're doing the same things because it's like, oh yeah, I just want to grow. Cool. Yeah, that'll end on January 17th, guaranteed. It wasn't specific. It was not measurable. It was not attainable. It was not relevant, and it was not timely. Okay. So some tough love here this morning. Hold on. I got some more notes here. I'm going to see who's in the chat here. All right. Break your day into blocks. Yeah, Nancy, that's help. That's definitely time management. You know, time blocking is a great thing. Again, we use that in the finisher's journal here. Establish time blocks for my activities and stick to it. Yep, that helps. Old time management is still effective. Is the Franklin planner? Absolutely. Check that out. John's saying another point with making the goal smart is how you can define it so that you can look back and know you completed your goal or did you miss it. It's easy to say, this is what I want to do. And it's just as easy to look back and feel like you didn't hit that goal. Yeah, very easy. Okay. Ken saying can of worms, great illustration. If the can is there, the problem, we better open it. Remember, our customers are going to be besieged with unsolicited phone calls, especially during OEP. We can help, or the CMS marketing violator will. That's absolutely correct. Romilda's saying to continue my weight loss journey. Absolutely. But be specific, guys. You know, tough love, be specific. And again, I'll put it in the chat here. If you want help with your time management, this is the best tool I've found out there, Finisher Secret. And when you go to checkout, I was able to work out a code for you guys. It's 15%, but you're going to need 4 books for the whole year. I've already bought my 4. They're on the shelf there. I'm already busted in one. I got the second one here. This is my, and then what I do on the side here is I write Q4 2025, so I can always look back and see my goals. You know, did I get them? And by the way, if you're curious if I hit all 3 of my goals, I did, and you can ask the team. Boom, they keep me accountable. Do you have an accountability partner? Is the other part of this. Goal setting's easy, guys. Make them smart. Use this thing. This is a great planner. Maybe we'll give away some planners, Mike. I don't know. Mike got a free planner the other day, and he loved it. So with that, I really appreciate it, guys. If there's something you want me to talk about next week or in the upcoming weeks, please post it in the chat. Would love to hear it. Send us an email to support@askhpm.com. We're at time this morning. I hope all of you kind of reevaluate your goals for 2026. Sit down and take a look at it. Some of you posted your goals. I love that. You know, do no more than 3 and then chop it up in 90 days. So for instance, again, I'm going to pick on my friend Romilda here. You know, weight loss journey is a journey, right? Is it a 12-month journey? Great. What does the end of 12 months look like? That could be intimidating. Break it up in quarters. What do I got to do for the first 90 days for me to be on track to hit that yearly goal, that annual goal? And that's really how you break down that elephant. Okay. Mike says, got it going right now. They are a huge asset. Appreciate that, man. Very good. Everyone, I am very excited. It is the first day of the year for work. We are here. We're back at it this morning at Health by Markets, regular hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. You can call us at 844-696-3975 or give us an email, shoot us an email at support@askhpm.com. And as a reminder, if you're in HQ, the boys and girls are on the chat feature in the bottom right corner. We can help with that too, in case you're in there and you need some help. So with that, I appreciate everyone being here. We will see you next Monday, guys. Thank you so much.